Hey there, fellow prog noggins. Dave here, Bleeding Edge. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate it. More new music coming out, and I get my second song reaction in as many weeks. And this one, I think, is for many of us particularly exciting, especially for those who did not get to see the live stream concert, which I am one. I did not get to see Devin Townsend perform the Moth live and streaming, mostly because of poor planning on my part, poor timing, I think, overall on the event. No, not that they timed it poorly, it just didn't work out for me. It's about the way it happens to be. So I missed that. So I'm rather excited now that there's going to be an album coming out and it's going to get to be something I can now experience and see. So I'm hopping on that, but hey, here we go. We get a first single released from the album and we get to check it out. So I think that's kind of a very cool thing. Of course, Devin Townsend, if you are a prog nerd, needs no introduction. He has been one of the most eclectic and mercurial and innovative prog superstars out there, going all the way back to his years in Strapping Young Lad and with Steve Vai and all that stuff. He has done so many different things, so many different styles. He does it with energy and aplomb. If you've ever seen him live, you know he is one of the most entertaining solo artists out there, band artist, whatever you want to say, because he brings a band with him that absolutely kicks ass, and often, of course, includes the likes of Mike Keneally and Darby Todd, I believe, and people like that. He brings a rocking band, but he brings so much energy and is such an entertaining, funny, amusing guy. I've watched him fill time when technical difficulties occurred at the Royal Albert Hall. I watched him fill time for like 3 minutes to a degree of improvisation that was like Robin Williams or something like that. I've watched him make do of the best as he was doing a concert here in Philly just before the pandemic hit, and he was like collecting stuffed animals for kids and things like that. Had to make adjustments because of the ever-evolving reaction to COVID at that time. It was almost exactly 6 years ago when I saw him at that point. The man brings it, and he is self-deprecating. He is insightful. If you've ever seen him interviewed, the man is brilliant. So what more can I say? Devin Townsend is legend. So The Moth being a project he worked on for, I don't know, a decade or more. I forget exactly at this exact moment. And it is something very personal to him. It involves an orchestra. It involves just grand storytelling and grand music composition on just a huge scale. So I guess I'm just going to stop with superlatives, get my ass in gear here. And while we're setting up, get the headphones on and all. Don't forget, take a moment, throw a like this way if you enjoy the video. Subscribe to the channel as well if you enjoy it so that you can follow along on my other proggy adventures. There's a lot of good things going on here. Take a look around. And hey, I hope you enjoy it. And let's take a look at the new Devin Townsend song from The Moth. This is called Enter the City. So buckle up. My only complaint so far, as I see the time on it, is it's only about 3 minutes. I wanted more. Now, of course, we start off immediately with one of those classic grand orchestral, choral, uh, just bombastic piece of music that Devin is known for. This has his signature style all over it. It's a little bit show tune, a little bit metal. Like there's always at least maybe a little bit of a wink and a nod at the listener, so to speak. Like he obviously, as I said, he's self-deprecating. He does not take himself terribly seriously about a lot of things, although a lot of his subject matter can be quite serious and have very deep, serious roots. So far, yeah, like this, Here we go. This is Devin. Is that Devin getting his Batman moment, his Daredevil moment, or Hunchback moment? Maybe. I don't know what he would say, but so far I'm digging the visuals on this. This is nice. It's interesting. I cannot at this moment discern the words that are being sung because it's just so big, the vocals, and so much of a chorus, whatever you want to say, choir. That's probably what I'm looking for. Sound to it that I'm not quite sure what they're singing at this point in time. So, but I'm interested in this dichotomy that we have going on here. The split screen showing one that images that to me harken back to some sort of fascistic rally, governmental oppression, fostered by populist ideals, things like that. Bad stuff, bad governmental, revolutionary, or fascist type stuff. Contrasted in the yellow with what appears to be basically a mirror image, but in the religious perspective. And I don't know, I've described it as a dichotomy so far. I'm not clear as of yet, and I'm sure the lyrics and the rest of the music would reveal, is this in some way showing us opposites or more along the lines of two sides of the same coin? And I could see probably it being either or. My knowledge says that I recall, without having specifically looked into it, that Devin is spiritual, philosophical, but not necessarily religious. I don't know if he was raised in a religious household. So that gives me the idea that what we're actually talking about here is, two sides of the same coin, not necessarily opposites, just different ways to achieve the same means is maybe the message here. That's my suspicion. Getting back to that idea of what it is that is being shown here, it's interesting that when they go back and forth between the colors, the message was here is the same either way. That to me and reinforces the idea that we're talking about two sides of the same coin, and prophetic, chillingly so in some ways. That as I see this now, given what's going on in the world at the moment, boy, I need to get to the rest of this album as quickly as possible. I will admit, I could have read a whole bunch of things telling me what it was all about in the intervening year or so since the concert was first performed, and I didn't. Mostly because I knew at some point this would be available, and really for me, I wanted to wait until I could have it in hand, listen to the music, read the lyrics, and all that stuff all at the same time, and just experience it all at once, rather than just kind of reading the story, which I think in some ways might take away from the experience of discovery. Missed with that sick. Ah. Damn. Dang it, too fast. I want to see what it says. Ah, okay. Yeah, we offer the way through praying. Vote for We Offer the Way. Same, very similar messages for the same reasons. Very interesting. Okay. I dig this. I love the mix of symphonic and choral and metal and just the grand scope of things that Devin Townsend tends to produce. And this is kind of taking bits and pieces of everything he's done over the years and throwing it into one composition. And it's not the first time I've heard him blend all those things together either, because in many ways this harkens back to Empath, and of course the grand scope of that album probably is only exceeded by this one, from what I can gather. So I really want to see the rest of it, and I'm really curious to find out how correctly I've interpreted the combination of music and images that were shared there. Again, I didn't catch the lyrics. I almost never do first go around anyway. But, I heard, does it really matter? Or does it even matter? Or just doesn't matter? One of those questions. Maybe the idea that doesn't matter which one of these I choose is the eventual outcome, if I invest myself in either one, going to be the same, which many people would say is control. So I don't know. Very interesting, very curious, very much a appetite whetter for the album itself. And I look forward to being able to dive into what I think is reasonably described as probably one of the biggest prog albums of this year. Indeed, it's kind of a big deal. So I want to see where it goes, but I'm digging it. This is epic Devin Townsend in a nutshell, in a 3-minute nutshell. And if that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what can. So I like it. I'm enjoying it. I'm excited for it. Those of you that have heard or seen, I should say, the concert, the performance, who are familiar with this already, I'm curious about your comments. How close am I to being correct in interpreting what I witnessed here on this very first go-around? What were your thoughts on the performance itself, the entire show? I hate to call it an album because it was originally a show, and this is a show presented in album form. So what was your thought on the show? Those I know, I believe, came away kind of gobsmacked. So I'm kind of expecting it's overall positive. Those of you who have not heard the album yet, how excited are you for this? Leave your comments. Tell me what you think. How much you are, or maybe not yet, a Devin Townsend fan, and this may be your first introduction to his work. Drop a comment, drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you could. That's all I have for you right now. And as always, I tell you to hang loose, never fear to deviate from the norm, and keep it prog.